In this lab, we will install the latest hotfix for our version. To do so, we will download the latest hotfix from downloads.f5.com. Before installing, it is best practice to read the release notes. This is to make sure there are no issues with our current configuration, or in most cases, to make sure it solves an issue we are experiencing. We will install on the standby unit first, then fail over and install on the primary device. We will then synchronize the configurations and fail back to the primary unit. To download the software, we need to go to downloads.f5.com. Once logged in, we could click on Find a Download, and we're going to use the same virtual edition that we used in the previous lab. And we're using 11.5.1. So we're going to use the latest hotfix, which is hotfix 8. And we're going to download the ISO image. We're also going to download the release notes. And we're going to download the MD5. And this is just to verify that we have the real software and not a fake. So we'll click on that to download. And for installing the hotfix, we need one more piece of software. So we'll just go back. And we actually need an ISO of the 11.5.1 software. So we're going to go over here and click on it. And we're going to download. And while the software is downloading, we could review the release notes. And the way hotfixes work is they are cumulative. So hotfix 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 all the way up to hotfix 7 are all included in this hotfix 8, as well as anything new that was discovered, like memory leaks, vulnerabilities, like this ghost vulnerability. If your F5 has issues and you're not using the latest hotfix, you could review these notes and maybe you'll find an issue that was resolved in the latest hotfix. Now that the images have been downloaded, we could go to System, Software Management, and Hotfixes, and we could import our new image. And of course, we want to make sure we're doing this on the standby unit. So we'll select File, and this is going to be the hotfix 8. I'll import, and this will take several minutes. Now we want to upload our MD5 hash. So we'll go to it, and this is our MD5. And this is to verify that all the software is there and correct and hasn't been tampered with. So we'll import. And now we could verify our software is correct by going to the CLI. We'll log in. And we're going to use these following commands. So we're going to go to our directory of images. And then we're going to run the MD5 against our image. And it's okay, so our image is good. So next, we'll go back to our GUI. And we're going to click on Image List. And now we're going to upload our 11.5.1 ISO. So we'll import, browse, and this is the actual image of the software. It's fairly large, so this is going to take a while to upload. And we'll import it. Now that our image has been uploaded, we could start the installation process. And F5 is a little different. You can't just install a hotfix on the existing partition. As you can see up here, there's two partitions. There's HD 1.1 and HD 1.2. So we're going to have to use the one that's empty, and that's why we had to download a new OS. So right next to it, put a check mark, and then we'll click install. And we're going to use the second partition. So partition 2, and we'll click install. And this will take a while, sometimes up to about 30 minutes. So that took about 20 minutes. Now we could go to our hotfix list, and we'll check mark the hotfix and install. And we're going to install it on the second partition. And this will also take several minutes. And we can see our progress bar once again. And that only took about 15 minutes. Now we can go to the boot location tab. We can click on HD 1.2, and we want to activate this. Click yes. The device will reboot. The reboot process might take up to 5 minutes as it's changing over to the second partition. Now that the device has rebooted, we could log back in and we could see changes are pending. We could click on dashboard and we could see up here our version is 11.5.1 and our build is 8.0.175, which is our hotfix. We could click on device management and our overview, and we could see the device is waiting to be synced with changes. At this point, we want to make this device the active unit. So we could go to our active or our currently active device, and we could force it to standby. And this should make this one active. Now we can upgrade our primary device, and we follow the same steps as we did with the other one. I've gone ahead and started the install on the active device, now in standby mode. And this is probably going to take about 45 minutes like the last one did. I will let you do this one on your own. Now that the hotfix has been installed, don't forget to go to boot location and click on HD 1.2 and then activate it. And of course, this is going to restart your device. The hotfix is finished installing on what was the active device, and it just rebooted. Now we need to synchronize our configuration, and that is from our currently active device. We want to make sure any active connections are pushed over to our secondary device. So we could go and click on changes, and then we could select our current device and sync to group. Now that we are synchronized, we could fail this over back to what should be the primary device. So we'll force to standby, and we'll make sure this works. And now this is active. One thing I forgot to mention at the beginning is even though when you install this hotfix, it'll transfer over the configuration and the licensing, best practice is to create an archive before we start this process. And we should have created one called prehotfix.ucs. Just in case anything got corrupted during the transfer or the installation. And this is really important on production networks. Just to make sure nothing gets corrupted, you usually want to just click on this and download this file to your computer. If you discover an issue with the hotfix that you just installed, you can always revert your changes. To do that, we could go back to software management and then our boot locations. We could click on the original, which is 1.1, and then we can activate this one, and that'll revert all of our changes. And once that's done, we could delete the 1.2 partition. I hope this video was informative and hopefully you learned something. Thanks for watching.